We welcome you back here on WCCUSN, Coastal Carolina Student-Run Sports Network. I do apologize. We have some more women's rugby to go here. We have the B-side now coming to play, both NC State and Coastal Carolina taking the field here, B-side. Just a quick 20-minute period, and then we'll get you to men's rugby afterwards. 20 minutes you get to spend with us. I'm Cade Williams. Alongside me is my color guy. We got Ryan Tunstead. Is that over?
Yes.
Tunstead? Okay. I should have clarified that beforehand. I apologize.
You'd be surprised how many people say my name wrong.
They say like Tunstead?
A lot of people say Turn.
Oh, Turn.
Like Turnstead. Even
Interesting.
though there's no R in my last name.
Have people ever said like Tungsten?
I've heard that before, like the element.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll say, I feel you. People call me like Gabe and stuff. So it's important to clarify the names.
Yeah. Well, Coastal's B-side looking to win this game after their A-sides matched, and NC State won 41-17 after Coastal had a 17-10 lead at half. So we're getting ready to go here. Quick, as we said, 20-minute period, and that will be it for this game. And then men's rugby probably going to be a little later than 1, but as the scheduled start is 1.
It's all tentative starts. Nothing is ever punctual.
Everything pretty much runs off the first game of the day.
Oh, yeah. Both teams getting set now. Coastal to receive the ball.
Coastal looking to win this one. So here we go.
We are underway here in Conway, South Carolina for Coastal Women's Rugby B-side. That is number 3 with the ball. That is Michelle Akinjobi. Passes back to number 10, back to number 5. That's Paige Pfister. Pfister with the ball now, running through this NC State defense. Staying on her feet, breaking a tackle, breaking a couple tackles. It is tough to bring her down, it seems like. Coastal will retain possession of the ball. Number 10, that is Sydney Peoples. Peoples with the ball. Ball on the ground. Passes it back now to, that is Jay. Ball still kicking around there on the ground. Nobody can come with it. Now NC State ends up coming with the football.
Big takedown.
Big takedown there by Coastal Carolina, as I forgot to start the clock. We are underway here in Conway, South Carolina for women's B-side rugby. WCCUSN's coverage of Coastal Club sports. We're glad to have you here with us on this beautiful, sunny, warm day here in Conway, South Carolina. Very temperate day for fall here in October. But that's to be expected here in South Carolina. That is a takedown by Coastal Carolina. Ball on the ground. NC State still with possession of the ball. Whistle blown. Seems like it's going to be a drop kick here for the Wolfpack, as the Wolfpack will have possession.
NC State taking it now.
NC State taking the field right by Coastal's 22-meter mark. Storming right outside of that 22-meter mark for the Wolfpack. Ball on the ground. Coastal trying to come up with possession. No going, so that'll be Wolfpack ball. Wolfpack retaining possession just outside of that 22-meter mark. Wolfpack will continue to retain possession as that's passed back. Now working inside of the 22-meter mark is the Wolfpack. Some similarities we've seen is now Wolfpack working their way into Coastal's territory. They've been working on the coastal side of the field for the last about 5 minutes now.
Feels like they've been working on Coastal side of the field for the last 2 hours.
Seemingly so. We've seen a lot.
Going back to last game too.
We've seen more red with the ball than teal. As that ball is still within possession
of
this
NC
wall.
State. NC State finding its way through it.
I'll say NC State busting through that Coastal wall as they will retain possession, marching their way deeper and deeper within Coastal territory. Pass back now. Coastal pushing them back closer to the 22-meter mark as NC State breaks a tackle. NC State taking down, ball on the ground. Still will stay with NC State as Coastal trying to bust through that, trying to get possession here. Coastal now, the Wolfpack passing it back, working the ball around, ball on the turf. NC State retaining possession, passes it back now. Trying to find an inkling of space now is the Wolfpack. Trying to bust open this game and score the first points here. NC State with full speed running through that that Coastal defense, trying to get closer and closer to that try line. Oh, there we go. NC State working it around the outside. Oh, a little fumble here.
Kicked
NC State
forward.
kicked forward, trying to.
Coastal pounces on it. Whistle blows.
NC State trying to advance that ball close to the Coastal's try line. As we have just about 15, we have just under about 16 and a half minutes here to go in this match. We will have a scrum here within Coastal's 22-meter mark. First scrum we've gotten since, and right in front of us since the first game in the first half.
Directly in front of us here. We're going to have a good shot of this one.
We're going to have a good look at who wins this one.
Got some players that I can recognize from last game on the B side here, too. For Coastal, at least.
Coastal will roll the ball in on the scrum. Trying to take possession here, get it out of their side of the field.
Sent in. Picked
Coastal
up, sent back.
Coastal will have possession here, working around the back. A lot of commotion here on Coastal side of the field as they try and work their way out. Number 13 pushed for Coastal, pushed forward.
Turnover.
But turns over the ball. NC State now once again working in Coastal territory. Working deep within Coastal territory at that. Ball back on the ground, still within Wolfpack possession, trying to inch closer to that try line as they work it around this Coastal defense, taking advantage of the space that they have found in this in the holes of the Coastal defense.
NC State looking for the pylon here. Just feels like utter domination just so far again by NC State at the beginning of this game as they're tantalizingly close to scoring.
This team saw their main team just absolutely dominate on the Coastal side of the field. I was like, you know what? We could do that too. As they've spent most of the game on Coastal side of the field, seems as though we will get a scrum here just about 5 yards outside of Coastal's try line. Coastal still working, trying to get it out of their own territory here. As I'm going to fix our timer here. So get ready to scrum here.
Scrum dropped.
Coastal
Picked
will
up.
take possession of the ball.
Running now. Slide kick. NC State's going to get this one.
So Coastal does work it out of their deep territory, but NC State working it right back past that 22-meter mark.
Tackle made, ball placed on the ground. NC State picks it up.
A lot of aggression here by the Wolfpack to push themselves deep within Coastal territory very early in this game and have retained the ball for roughly 95% so far of this match. As they try and find pay dirt here to pay off their hard work.
Don't know that there's been a second that this ball has not been on this side of the field.
No, much like the game we saw earlier, as that is a great busted tackle by NC State, just bowling over the Coastal defender. NC State still working within Coastal territory, trying to find a space. It's found a little bit of a crease as Coastal's defense pulls the Wolfpack forward, getting closer and closer to that try line as NC State tries to find that pay dirt. However, Coastal not really budging much. This is about where they've been stonewalled as of late. Just as that is a beautiful pass in speed for NC State, almost getting down to that try line.
NC State is so close to scoring here. Here they come.
They're getting closer and closer to that line.
Looks like we're going to...
The referee did blow the whistle. Seems as though we will have a turnover here.
Coastal's going to be able to drop kick this one.
Coastal will drop it and kick it out of bounds for a throw-in by NC State. Just utter domination here by the Wolfpack so far. Even though there's no points from either side on the board, NC State just dominating both time of possession and field position.
Yeah, it feels like Coastal has had the ball for maybe like literally 15 seconds so far this game is where we are about 8 minutes in to this 20-minute match. So getting very close. They're already the halfway point of NC State and Coastal. It feels like NC State is going to get on the board soon. It's just what it feels like. They've been so close so many times, just looking to finally break through. Coastal's defense has been standing tall close to the goal line.
And the longer you're down here, the more and more your defense is going to get weared out and just utterly gassed. And the Wolfpack are going to be looking to take advantage of that. Just one person out of position is all it takes for one of these speedy players to get around him.
We saw the example of getting gassed, getting worn out in the last game. So Coastal looking to approach it differently in this game, and having only the 20-minute period helps with that too.
Coastal did get the ball on the throw-in. So they will have possession here as they work their way out of their own territory. Wind kicking up here in Conway, South Carolina.
Feels pretty good.
It does feel a nice little breeze working its way through. Coastal with possession still. Ball on the ground. Wolfpack trying to work and get that possession back. As they do steal the possession. There's a turnover by the Chanticleers just outside the 22-meter mark. NC State trying to finally bust through and pay off all this hard work that they've done. Once again with the ball, working past the 22-meter mark of the Chanticleers.
I think the question will be is, can NC State score before time runs out in this one? That's just kind of what it feels like at this point.
It's one of those games where you feel as though whoever scores first is the one who's going to come out with this one, especially how NC State's playing.
Especially how short this game is. There's not much time for multiple scores.
That ball is taken away by Coastal Carolina. Turnover by NC State. It's pass back, trying to work their way through the defense. They get out of their own 22-yard mark and working their way up towards the halfway point of the field. Coastal Carolina still with possession here. Taking it around the outside, breaking tackles down there. A little bit of a handoff there backwards as Coastal works their way up outside the seam, cutting her way back. That's that's number 7 down there for Coastal Carolina. That's Paige Burns working her way into NC State territory. Now this game has completely flipped on its head. Coastal Carolina operating within NC State's side of the field.
Coastal has possession running forward here. Pass back.
Oh, it seemed like they weren't ready for that one.
No.
Nobody on Coastal Carolina was ready for that pass back.
It just looks like there's about 3 NC State players for every 1 Coastal player. It just feels like NC State is swarming them everywhere they go on the field.
NC State is snuffing out any kind of offense that Coastal tries to put out here. As Coastal still working just outside of NC State's 22-meter mark. That ball is dropped by Coastal Carolina on the pass back. There we go. Coastal still with possession. Ball on the ground. Coastal still retaining possession. Passed back. Coastal operating just ahead of the halfway point, now making their way towards NC State's 22-meter mark. Down there on the far side by the sideline, getting closer and closer to that 22-meter mark as breaking tackles here is number 5 for Coastal Carolina. Oh, now number 20 has the ball, breaking her own tackles here. Ball back on the ground. Coastal Carolina still in possession, working their way back. That's number 8. Pass it back to number 12 here. Busting through tackles, busting up the middle for Coastal Carolina as it is tough to bring her down. Coastal were operating within NC State's 22-meter mark.
This is the closest Coastal has got in what feels like the last, like we said, 2 hours going back to the last game, so it's good to see Coastal getting down the field here as it seems to be stalling out right here in the middle as they're passing it back out. Here they come now.
Great positioning by Coastal Carolina flankers as that one is passed back on the ground but retained by Coastal Carolina. Ball back on the ground. Coastal will retain possession of the ball as they inch closer to now NC State's try mark. We will have a whistle. Seems as though there will be a drop kick forthcoming for the Chanticleers as they try and strike pay dirt. Off the absolutely beautiful play down here in their own territory to find a seam and just work their way through it.
It's good seeing Coastal on this side of the field now as they're looking to score as we have, 7 minutes and 20 seconds now left in this match.
Number 20 with the ball for Coastal Carolina as she tries to inch her way closer and closer to that try marker. Coastal now playing a little bit of hot potato, trying to move that defense around, find a seam. Right in the middle. Coastal still with possession. Ball on the ground. Turned over to the Wolfpack, it seems. That ball will be kicked out of NC State side towards the halfway mark on the field. As both teams
trying to win a race to this ball.
Both teams rushing towards the ball. NC State couldn't pick it up. Coastal Carolina now with possession. Just on their own side of the field, just past the 50-meter mark. Right on the 50-meter mark now for the Chanticleers as they try now to work their way back into NC State territory. Ball back on the ground, bouncing around. We have a whistle here. And a bit of a stoppage here. We're going to have a scrum on the 50-meter mark.
4 new NC State players coming into the game. Big substitution here for the Pack.
With about 6 minutes here to go, it seems as though the Pack are trying to make their final push here to try and get some points on the board. Come out with a victory on both the A and B side. Coastal trying to capitalize on the success that they had as recently after being stuffed in their own zone for most of the game. Coastal will roll in on the scrum here.
Coming up on 5 minutes left in this match. Like you mentioned earlier, it is one of those games now. Whoever scores first is likely going to come away with the win in this game.
Absolutely. This late in the game and now how both teams have been performing as Coastal will come up with the ball out of that scrum. Passing it back now, passing it around. We got number 13 with the ball. Passing it back to number, I believe that's 11. She's still working her way forward. That's number 15, ball on the ground after that tackle. Number 9 taking the ball. Ball stripped away. Loose ball on the ground. Rolling around down there. Now Coastal up at the ball. Number 13 passes back to number 7. 7 working her way up the sideline. Tackled down by NC State. Ball on the ground. Coastal still has possession of the ball. Coastal trying to regroup and make something happen here as we dip just under 5 minutes to go in the match. Coastal now working their way on to the opposite side of the field. Nice tackle there by NC State. However, the pass gets off to number 23, number 11. 11 drops the ball. Fumble, ball down on the field. We have a whistle here. And we have a whistle now. And we will have another scrum here right near the halfway mark on the field. Time continues to dwindle here in Conway, South Carolina, as both teams showing both very strong offensive and defensive performances.
It's been very, ever since NC State had it down here, it's been, I feel like, between both sides of NC State and Coastal Carolina. And here's the scrum now.
NC State will roll the ball in on the scrum, as that ball was kicked out perfectly for number 9 to pick up for NC State.
NC State's got numbers here.
Yeah, NC State has numbers down the
Not
outside.
anymore, but they did.
Coastal defense quickly snuffing out that offensive opportunity for the Wolfpack. Wolfpack will have the possession, operating just near the midfield. That ball is taken with speed just over the midfield mark by number 7 of the Wolfpack. Wolfpack trying to work this ball around, get the Coastal defenders to move around, find a hole to run through. Strong running there by NC State's number 5. Try and work her way through that Coastal defense. Ball still within NC State's possession here. NC State now trying to work their way up closer and closer to that 22-meter mark for Coastal Carolina to try and get an offensive opportunity here. NC State up the seam now, up a far side. Lot of masses hitting the ground here, trying to get that ball. Coastal Carolina strips the ball away, tries to force a turnover here. As we dip now to 2.5 minutes to go in the match. Coastal with possession now. Ball on the turf. Now in Coastal's possession to see if they can get something going here, as they are just outside their own 22-meter mark, working their way up to midfield. A lot of banging, a lot of crashing there down on the field as Coastal tries to get that ball back. Coastal will retain possession of the ball. Scanning and surveying, trying to find an outlet, trying to find somewhere to go with it as she's tackled down right near where they just gotten the ball back from.
Like you said, time dwindling away. 2 minutes now left in the match.
We will have a whistle here.
Like I heard offside was the call.
We do have a player down here on the field.
Coastal.
Yeah, we do have a Coastal player down here on the field. See if they get medical out there.
I wonder if time will stop here.
Time will stop with 1:35 to go, as the trainers will run out there to assess the injury.
Might just be gas too. That's a high possibility.
Possibly got the wind knocked out of her. I didn't see really much from my end. However, there was a large mass of bodies down there on the
Looks
field.
like she's getting up on her own power now. Walking off the field.
She will get up and walk off under her own power. We will have a substitution being made here.
She's going to switch her jersey over.
Exchanging of jerseys here. Hopefully she is okay.
Looks like she's walking a bit gingerly, but could be dehydration. She played in the first game too in the second half of the first A-side game.
I think
Could just be exhaustion too.
get some water, get some Gatorade. She's done. It seems to be done early for today. Get some rest. Kind of get yourself ready for those conference games coming up. I believe Coastal will retain possession of the ball here after we get going again. As we get set and ready to go here, there will be a drop kick by the Chanticleers. Referee's whistle has blown, signaling that we are just about ready to get going again.
Time underway.
Time has started once again, and Costa will kick the ball out of bounds. There will be a throw-in by the Chanticleers. Clock now under 1:30 to go. As both teams searching for the first points of the game here. It's been very tightly contested. Both teams having significant opportunities on both sides of the field.
By the looks of this one, looks like we could be going to 0-0 at the end of the clock here.
We are trending towards a draw potentially. However, let's see what both these teams have up their sleeve for maybe a final push. Both teams really aggressive, especially NC State right out of the gate, operating most of the game in Coastal's territory. Coastal will have possession here as they try and work the ball around the back line here.
This could be their final push of the game.
This could be the final push of the game. As Coastal loses possession of the ball, NC State now with possession, as they now try and make their final push. Just under a minute to go here, a minute and a half left on the clock. Clock very quickly dwindling down here for this match. NC State just outside of Coastal's 22-meter mark, as we've hit a kind of a standstill right in that area, right outside the 22-meter mark. NC State not really able to find much at all on the outside of the Coastal defenders. Now trying to bowl her way through is number 5 on NC State. Still nothing much doing here for the Wolfpack. Clock now dwindling down. We have about all zeros on the clock now.
Triple zeros.
Referee kind of letting them get this final play.
Next whistle will that'll probably be the end of.
Next stoppage most likely will end the game here, as NC State gets it past that 22-meter mark, busting through 3 tackles on her way in doing so. NC State with a strong final showing here, trying to hit pay dirt, trying to solidify this game. Just inside its Coastal's 22-meter mark is NC State.
Last chance for NC State here.
Last gasps here. Once again, operating within Coastal territory.
It'd take pretty much a miracle, in my opinion, for any kind of score to happen here. This could be it, though.
Oh, with speed now is number 12, NC State. Tackled down just outside of the try line. NC State now.
Wow.
Is very close to the Coastal's try line to end this game. And they will get the ball down, and that will end the game for it. That will end it here. I believe that is 5 points for NC State. The game-winning try there by the Wolfpack.
That was pretty incredible. Right after I said it'd take a miracle, they busted through the seam, get it very close, pass it out, and then they are able to touch it down.
Coastal
And
defense just out of position there.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm sure they're going to try the kick here, but with triple zeros on the clock, that's pretty much it.
NC State finding a player with speed to
Kick is no good. I don't
kick is
think.
no good.
And that'll
However,
be it.
referee's whistle signals the end of this match.
NC State sweeps both of the women's rugby matches today. 41-17 the A match, 5-0 in the B match.
Very, very tightly contested here during the B match. We had everything. Offense, everything but scoring. We had a lot of offense. We had a lot of offensive plays, a lot of great defense to stop on both sides of the field here. Both teams getting relatively deep within the opponent's territory, but just not able to break through until the very end right there.
Yep, NC State, like we just said, sweeps both games in a beautiful, what was a very nice fall morning here in Conway.
Very beautiful morning indeed. As you said, NC State will sweep Coastal Carolina here today. That'll do it here for us on WCCU SN, Coastal Carolina's student-run sports network. For my partner here, Ryan Tunstead, I'm Cade Williams, and for everyone back there, for WCCU SN, this has been coverage of Coastal Carolina club sports. We'll be right back here with a different team for men's rugby. Have a great day.